Every year, millions of books, seminars, and videos focus on a single, desperate request: how to control the human mind. This question sustains a massive global market built on the promise of taming unruly thoughts. Most people live in a state of exhaustion, fighting a daily war against their own anxiety. They treat their thoughts as a separate, hostile force that must be wrestled into submission. Attempting to manually throttle the mind is a biological and philosophical dead end. You cannot command a reactive system to stop producing the exact signals it is designed to generate. This internal conflict relies on a misunderstanding of the mind's nature. The human mind functions just like a shadow, taking its exact shape and movement directly from the person casting it. Consider the futility of standing before a mirror and attempting to change your reflection by warping the glass with your hands. Physical force applied to the surface achieves nothing. The reflection only shifts when the face standing before it changes its expression. The image in the glass is a result, not a primary cause. If the mind behaves like this reflection, returning a direct map of your internal state, the focus must shift. We have to identify the I that is actually casting this mental shadow. Resolving mental chaos requires moving past the symptoms. Peace begins by investigating the identity of the person standing in front of the mirror. The mind operates as a reactive weather system. It weaves its psychological environment based on how you define yourself at any given moment. When you view yourself as weak or lacking, the mind generates a reality defined by fear. It is simply providing the atmosphere that matches your self-definition. Trying to control these fears with mental tricks is like standing knee-deep in thick mud, frantically spraying perfume to mask the smell. The stench is a logical consequence of the environment. To change the smell, you have to lift your feet and step out of the mud. Attempting to defeat fear while holding on to a core identity of helplessness is a mechanical failure. The mind continues to reflect the mud of your self-image while you remain in it. Mental suffering originates from believing the self is incomplete, creating a permanent state of internal tension. This is the ego, a state defined by constant need, searching for external pieces to feel whole. Recognizing your internal wholeness is the soul. Your completeness is already intact. Nature follows a simple rule. You cannot plant a thorny bush of self-doubt and expect a harvest of sweet fruit. The fruit matches the seed. Stability comes from a shift in identity. When you move from the half-self of the ego to the whole self of the soul, the mind finally has a peaceful image to reflect. Accepting that you lack nothing internally provides immediate psychological relief. The constant pressure to fix your baseline existence disappears. You still interact with the world to meet physical and social needs, but those external factors no longer dictate your internal sense of being. You are complete regardless of outside circumstances. This shift changes the mental hierarchy. Once you are secure in your identity, the mind stops acting as a tormentor and begins to serve your intent. The mind only settles when the self-identity it reflects is secure and whole. Realizing internal wholeness does not mean you will never experience sadness or negative surface emotions again. These emotions are temporary, like fine dust blowing onto the outer skin of a fresh piece of fruit. They are surface events, not structural changes. The dust on the outside leaves the sweet nectar inside untouched. You can be sad on the surface while remaining entirely peaceful at your core. Stop the exhausting war of mind control. Acknowledge your internal completeness, and the mind will naturally reflect that peace.